Hey everybody, another living room lecture. This is Sue Ann talking about A Course in Miracles again. And I'm going to talk about the idea, the concept of saving the world. Now, within many different paths, and including A Course in Miracles, there's a temptation to utilize this new knowing. Sometimes it's an old knowing that we studied for a long time and it just feels really good. And we believe that if all others would think the same way we did or accept the atonement for themselves, then the world would just be a better place. And so we see this in a lot of different content. We've got Democrats against Republicans, Republicans against Democrats, independents against, I don't know, whoever they want to be against and for themselves. And we see many iterations of this, iterations, that's the word, of this. Many different groups. So also when one is looking at the world and finds sort of like a hack or a new idea, expanded idea on what they had already known, a lot of times then they think like, okay, I now know more than most people. I look around, I see them all acting stupidly, acting ignorant, and as we can see, this is like tons of judgments upon our brother, right? So in the Course in Miracles, at least, it does not talk about any kind of activities in the world or behavior. It only talks about seeing, and it talks about accepting the atonement for yourself, and it talks about, I gotta think, okay, I wrote down all my little things here, so I didn't forget what I thought of before. To change your mind about the world, not change the world itself. And the changing the world itself would be the type of thought that if each person was to accept the atonement for themselves, then this world would be a perfect place. Now, there's many reasons why it's not a perfect place. I can get into that for a second. First of all, it was made to not be such a place. And that's where the frustration comes in, because it will never be that place. It was made as an attack on God, which is what the Course says in so many words, and that it is to be a place where we can be apart from God, somewhere else, do something different. And so it's not going to have the same characteristics that God has, which is love with no opposite. So, of course, it's going to have tons of opposites. And when we're always trying to get rid of the opposites, we're never going to do that, because we made it specifically as a place where we could go and be what we're not, or pretend to be what we're not, is really what it comes down to. So there's this mind that made all of this and made it in an instantaneous second, and actually it didn't even occur at all because it's impossible. But then we decided to believe it. So now there's a reviewing in the mind, and the ideas have never left their source to even make a world, to have groups of people that are opposing each other with different kinds of ideas. So all of this, as you can see, then we go out into these with our thoughts and then believe that it's all true, become very passionate about it, and we never look back at ourself in this type of activities. So the Course says to accept the atonement for yourself, for myself, right? So it doesn't say accept it for the brother, tell the brother to go accept it, It really talks nothing about doing anything with a brother other than like how you would see that brother. So, and how you see it is how you see yourself. So it starts off where we think we are. So if we think we're in a world, then it's going to say, okay, look, you are seeing your brothers who are like in these opposite groups. And sometimes people change groups, right? Like they're one political persuasion and they go to another later in their life, right? So it doesn't matter. At that point in time, whichever one you're thinking is like the opposite. That's why it also encourages us to forgive and look at that opposite. That we are saying is outside of us. And it's the only way that we end up knowing what's going on in our mind. So it is not about saving the world out there. It's by looking at, here is all our conflict displayed before us, projected out before us, that is actually really in the mind. And it's helping us to reel back and draw back into that mind where that power choice point is. So if you don't know you have a mind and you don't know anything about that mind, you cannot even feel that mind. There is no way to make a choice other than probably in the world. You would make a choice in your behavior, what you're going to eat, who you're going to talk to, the boundaries you're going to make, the time you're going to spend on things, the weight you're going to lose, the weight you're going to gain. I don't know, all kinds of things, right? Unlimited choices within the world, seeming as if they're all different and all having effects, that things are evolving and changing, going for the better. And there's this hope and faith that gets placed on that, which is fine. It soothes us for a while. But what we really know is there's something about us ourselves that we're just not getting. So it begins to draw us back in, the Course does, to where the mind is, like I said, and where the only kind of real changes can be made, which is actually leaving the entire thought system altogether. So actually, if you followed me from a long time ago, for like many years now, I've been teaching that, the miracle is a change in the thought systems. And there's two thought systems to think with. You cannot ride two horses at once. So you're only riding one horse or the other, and you're in one or the other. And I tell you, we're always on the earth character thought system, like 100% of the time. And then we think we move within that and we get aha moments. But anything that changes is not God, because God just never changes. And so all these thoughts of change and evolution, we see devolution then occur. Has there ever been a time in any of our known recorded history that things got better and stayed better? Or just got better, and then reached a maximum point where it was the greatest it ever was going to be, and then it never stopped being that? That's just not what this place is about. So it is very funny when we try to make that. So that's where the humor starts coming in, is you begin to laugh at what had been very serious situations in the mind previous to that, right? Let me see if I... yeah, I think I hit on all the little topics I had about this particular subject. So this is going to be about a 7-minute video. I'm going to try to upload it. I had trouble with my last one, so hopefully this one will go better. See y'all later.